Happy Independence Day, my friends. It is a good day to be an American. For those of us who remember those who fought and died for this country, those several hundred years ago when we fought for our independence from the crown, it's been a long time coming to get to this point. But we could be positive, we could be optimistic. I think that we can be optimistic when it comes to the election this year. What's really scary is the fact that we're ran by an oligarchy, and our founding fathers would be terrified by that fact. I'm going to celebrate this day with my family, just like all the rest of you are. And probably the left is going to be mourning this day because this is the worst country to ever exist. It's a colonialist, terrorist country. In ways, many of us would not disagree with the second part, the latter being that we have effectively, slowly lost control of this country. Again, I'm happy that we are going to celebrate this day. Look, I have a flag on my chest, I've got a flag behind me. What's scary is how little people know, how uninformed voters are, how uninformed many of the patriots are. Yes, we support Trump. Yes, we want to make America great. Yes, we want to stay out of foreign wars. But people don't understand the history of this country. Why I fear that this information could spur something that we don't want to necessarily have to happen. But when we look back at our founding, 1776, we get our independence. Well, did we really? Because where did the money come from? Here's the crux of the conversation. Where did the money come from? Well, France, was one of the sources of our money. We hadn't had money to fight our rulers, the monarchy. So, what has happened effectively, I won't dive into the history. I encourage you to go do your research yourself, and I plan on making a video in the future, but that money was refinanced by who? The Rothschilds. Effectively, forcing us into indentured servitude for periods of 70 years. Now, here is my challenge for you. Go look up the 70-year periods and what coincided with the end of that 70-year period with which we never once paid off our debt. So, why I fear that this information could cause a lot of strife, and I think it's worth sharing, is because we got our independence, but we didn't truly. And you can see those 70-year periods, what happens in 2001. Well, I'll back up. What happened in Vietnam? What happened in World War II when we didn't have any say in bringing in Nazi scientists from overseas? Again, I'm not trying to be grim, but we bring Nazi scientists in who are supposed to be the worst monsters the world had ever seen to fuel our rocket program and get us to the moon, and then also help us with mind control experimentation. That doesn't sound like something Americans would want, nor would Americans want a genocide for Christians. We're going to focus on the genocide of the Jews. Sure, okay, well, maybe there was a genocide of Jews, but was there a genocide of Christians at the same time in a number far greater than that of the Jews that were killed? There was. The Bolsheviks. Nobody talks about that. And if you bring it up, you're crazy, and you are an anti-Semite. So we move forward to Vietnam. We move forward to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And when Harry Truman basically transplanted the OSS into the CIA, what did we get? We had a police state full of power-hungry bureaucrats. And it continued to get worse. When JFK came into office, an insider but an outsider who wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve, the bank, who is ran by the same global banking system that has controlled our country and its foreign policy decisions and its monetary system for our entire lifetime, the country's entire lifetime. So when we get past that, after JFK was assassinated, Gulf Tonkin and Cuban Missile Crisis, false flags everywhere all the time, false flags always happening. Just tripwires set up everywhere so that we can initiate a new war for the banking class. Then we get to 2001. What coincides with our Great Recession? And just before that, we have 9/11. All of us, most of us know all of the really strange circumstances around 9/11. The most strange circumstance of all, the most insane thing, is that there was a passport found from one of the terrorists forever away, but everything else was destroyed. But we found his passport. No, there was a lot more going on. This was a power grab. This was the creation of the national security police state. It's been progressively getting worse. Again, this is the 4th of July. I don't want to be grim, but I also don't want to be ignorant to the fact that if we want freedom, we have to have freedom from tyranny, which we are currently living under. So we have the Patriot Act, then we have the bailout of the big banks who caused the banking or the housing crisis through collateralized debt obligations, which they profited greatly from. And then we have Afghanistan and the Iraq War happening at the same time. So we get to Julian Assange, we get to Edward Snowden, we get to illegal surveillance and wiretapping of our own citizens. This is the 4th of July, right? So we have to exercise our right to call out the bullcrap, which is what I'm trying to do. So we have Afghanistan, where innocent people are murdered all the time. We have drone strikes from Obama killing American citizens and innocent people, and then Julian Assange exposes it. Guess what? Mike Pompeo, unfortunate that Trump didn't pick his cabinet and the people beside him well enough to say that Mike Pompeo should be out of government is an understatement, says that we should drone strike the bastard, that he's a traitor. Who's the traitor? The person killing innocent American civilians and innocent people overseas like cannon fodder, and the traitor who used the CIA, or with the CIA using Osama bin Laden for a long time with Iran against the Soviet Union running arms, and who created the drug crisis through Iran-Contra. Yeah, I think we're starting to see who the traitor is. So we get all the way through that, and Julian Assange releases the WikiLeaks emails of these oligarchs, these power-hungry people in our government, looking to effectively subvert our government, and sociopaths and psychopaths being in full control in a uniparty, never-ending totalitarian state. So, what do we get? Trump wins. Hillary was never supposed to lose. We have Pizzagate come out. We have Jeffrey Epstein arrested. He was arrested. He was let go before Trump came around. They say Trump's an associate of Jeffrey Epstein. Well, he was running around free all this time with our current leader, or our current leadership and the past leadership. We go up to 2020. What happens? COVID happens. Dr. Fauci happens, just like what he did with the AIDS epidemic, the AIDS crisis, and AZT. Okay. Well, COVID happens. We have mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, ballot harvesting, fake ballots, illegals voting, dead people voting 5 times, and we have states that are effectively now harboring a bunch of illegal aliens, and let's not even say that they're going to vote. Well, what happens when they have them counted in the census, because they're not asking if you're a U.S. citizen of the census? Where are we living, folks? And we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine that we are not approving through our tax dollars that we're supposed to pay. I'm a business owner. How do I pay my taxes knowing that that $10 is paying for munitions to kill people overseas that I don't approve of? There was a tax on tea, and we threw the tea in the harbor. We fought a war, effectively, to break away from this exact type of rule. And then we get a demented old president that nobody likes, that everybody can't stand, and there's corruption everywhere. Ukraine, China, Hunter Biden's laptop, Ashley Biden's diary. These are sick people. So I come to you today to say, happy 4th of July, guys. Let's put things in context, celebrate the day, and celebrate the fact that people are aware now of the misdeeds of these psychopaths. It's what they are. There's no way around it. You can look in the eyes of Hillary and see that either there's nothing there except a despotic corpse, or there's a demon inside of her. There's nothing behind those eyes but evil. So when we look at Joe Biden, there's nothing there either. He is a oatmeal-brained, extra cinnamon, standing in line of the nursing home, just completely gone. And Joe Biden, a psychopath, power-hungry person herself, is using her husband, no emotion involved, to effectively run the country, but she's not running it. And let's back up to January 6th, inside FBI agents and the Capitol Police letting them in, and then it's the greatest threat to democracy in the history of the world. We've got our president, former president, being prosecuted for charges that are trumped up, made up charges, just like the Russiagate scandal. I'm not writing this stuff down. I'm just ranting effectively. I'm just, how much more should I say? I'm just coming off the top of the head with all of this corruption. I could say 150 things more. So this election is, as Trump's ad that we're about to watch says, this is the last great battle. Because it truly is. We lost an election in 2020 with the most popular president in American history to the least popular guy that the media attacked for his entire political career in Joe Biden. So, until he ran for president, nobody liked him. He's a plagiarist. He's a liar. He's a child predator, quite literally. And his kids are a representation of who he is. Loses to him. And there's fraud everywhere. Trump gets charged, convicted, and has to have a Supreme Court case about his immunity because he questioned the election like every Democrat has ever done in the history of these United States. So what we have here is a perfect representation of what people think about the current regime. Recent Open Labs polling data says and suggests Republicans 333 delegates to the 205 for Democrats. Democrats, of course, are supposed to win and hold New York, Maine, Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado, California, Oregon, Washington. I would be surprised. Now, sure, Trump can lose some of these. Let's just say Gretchen Whitmer enters in, Michigan, and I don't think people like her all that much. But at any rate, this is massive. Let's just say that this holds. I'm just curious. We have the 1776 mindset with these terrible people in charge. But what do the terrible people in charge, seeing their grip slip? Look at France. Look at Great Britain. Look at the UK as a whole. Look at Canada. Nationalism is coming back. People are fighting back against the World Economic Forum, the central banking system of the world, and this globalist regime that nobody approved. Behind the scenes, like a thief in the night, they have seized control of this world. So here is, again, this is the 4th of July. I don't like to be grim, but we need to take it in stride. Proud Americans need to be prepared to spread the truth. Because if you know the truth, you can't deny it. And if you share this, expose people to this information, well, it's going to be cognitive dissonance is a real thing. And they will be uncomfortable. They will get angry with you, but that's fine. Because then they'll go look it up themselves. Some of them will. So watch this Trump ad, The Last Battle.
2024, it's our final battle. We're either going to have a country greater than ever before, or we're not going to have a country at all. And we're ready for it. Are we ready? We're ready.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture.
You must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you're going to be with me for the last one.
Let the liberal heads explode. They're not coming for him. They're coming for us. Joe Biden said, the Second Amendment has its limits. Huh. That's not what the Constitution says. Well, guys, I'm thankful that you're here with me. I'm thankful that we have a country that we do love with a beautiful flag. We can love our families. And in states like mine, in Tennessee, I don't have to pay a ridiculous amount of income tax to the state. They support the things I support, the death sentence for child predators. Call me heartless. I don't think that you can ruin a child's life and have yours preserved. Call me crazy. I don't care. I appreciate you for watching. It's going to be an interesting couple of months. Sleepy, sloppy Joe, dirty ho. Sorry. but we're going to take this country back, and we need to take it back from the people who actually run it. Thanks, guys.